Welcome to Advanced Driving, and in this video we're going to go over two handy techniques which build on our knowledge from the last video. The first technique is useful for turning 180 degrees. Whenever you start a race, fall off the track, or get hit with certain items, you'll be facing the wrong way, so we want to be able to turn around as quickly as possible. This method saves a marginal amount of time with Wiley, actually feels a lot nicer with Marvin, so here's how it looks with Marvin. Firstly, because of the nature of this technique, I'm going to simply talk in terms of buttons pressed, as to not confuse myself. Let's begin with the easy method. Start by holding R1 until you reach full speed. This doesn't take long. Once you've done this, let go of R1 and hold left or right. I'm going left in this example. It's also useful mid-spin to start holding triangle to see where you're going next. Once you're almost all the way around, hold L1 to get going again, and once you've straightened up, you can let go of the analog stick. This is a bit harder with Wiley, as you almost come to a complete stop by holding a direction, so you want to press and hold L1 earlier to compensate. Easy, right? It doesn't take very long to get used to the timing for this. It's nice and simple, so let's spice it up a bit. To conserve a bit more momentum, we can swerve midway through the previous actions. The important thing to remember is that if you're holding left, like in my example, you'll want to throw in an R2 swerve. If you're holding right, of course it's an L2 swerve. It's always the opposite side to where you're pointing the stick. You'll usually want to insert this swerve when the craft is between 75 and 90 degrees rotated, depending on the track. Speaking of which, the optimal way to turn depends on your track position and the next corner. If the next corner or even slight bend is to the left, then you'll want to spin to the right. That is, holding right on the analog stick and swerving with L2. You'll be turning slightly less than 180 degrees, which means you can press and hold L1 earlier and get away faster. If the corner is extreme, you may not wish to reach top speed while holding R1 and instead spin earlier. If you're on a straight section of track with no corner approaching, consider your position across the width of the track. You want to spin towards the track. So in this example where I'm off to the right, I'll hold left on the stick and R2 to swerve. Some tracks, notably off-world city limits, are much narrower, and you may find you need to adjust your timing so as to not fly straight off the edge, or even inputting a slight turn before the spin. In this example, I'll go slightly left before initiating the spin, letting go of R1, holding right, pressing L2, and then holding triangle and L1. This is much clunkier with Wiley, but still saves a fraction of a second. With how much you have to spin around in this game, having this at a muscle memory level is worth the time investment. Now for the second technique, which is much easier to explain, so I'll resume my standard terminology. I'm going to call this method jumping from here on out, and it's nice and easy. While going fast enough, hold down on the analog stick and swerve either left or right. Normally, you wouldn't be able to leave the track like this without a bump in the road or a jump to go over, but the slight vertical increase from a swerve is enough to get the ball rolling. You can keep swerving to prolong this effect. This technique actually benefits Wiley more, giving him access to shortcuts that Marvin cannot reach, but both make use of jumping. A few notes. Again, Wiley is more receptive to this movement, but at the cost of momentum, and this vertical control is tied to speed. Much like an airliner, you can't just take off vertically and not expect to stall the engines. Also tied to this is that you can slam on the brakes and reverse for a second to give you one tiny extra height boost before gravity starts taking over. Now we can jump and fly, we can go anywhere, so it's time to learn where the game actually allows us to go. The next video explores the different zones of the track, or what I think of as track states, so that we can better understand all 14 circuits in the game. Thanks for watching.